everyone, welcome back to my kitchen, and today we're going to start a little series all about my favorite spices. Today we're going to start with my top 6 essential spices that everyone should have in their kitchen. Let's go see what these are all about. Okay, today I'm starting a small series. We're going to kind of sprinkle these along, and it's just... You see what you did there? I did that, right? I did. We're going to sprinkle these along throughout our months ahead, and I have several that I want to do, and today we're going to focus on the savory spices that we like to have on our spice rack or in our kitchen cupboard. Now, these are the top 6 that I thought long and hard about. What are the 6 things that I can possibly not live without, that I always reach for, that I use all the time? And these are those. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I get questions, so many questions. So many of you ask me, do you have a list of essential spices that you can't live without? Essential things that you always have on your spice rack. What do you use the most? So this is going to kind of satisfy all of those questions, and I hope you enjoy it. So these do not include salt and pepper because those are a given. I figure everyone should always have salt and pepper. I don't keep salt and pepper on my spice rack per se, but I have it on the top of my stove, and that is where I keep it. In a little mason jar, I have one for kosher salt, I have one for pink salt, which is Himalayan pink salt, not curing salt, and I have one for finely ground black pepper and coarse ground black pepper, and of course I have a pepper grinder. But these are all the spices that I thought I definitely can't live without them. And this is also coming from a perspective of maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you just got your first apartment, you moved into your first house, maybe you're young married, newlywed, and you want to, get the ball rolling the right way, but you don't have a lot of money to do that. So you can attain all of these spices for under $20. 2 of them are spice blends, and I'll explain why when we get there. Because when you're talking about saving money, a spice blend is the best way to go. Now, I'm not talking about making your own spice blends. You know, here on the Spice Queen, we have made spice blend upon spice blend upon spice blend, and we're going to continue to do that. However, I know some of you get spice racks for Christmas, for wedding gifts, for birthday gifts, and that's a great place to start. But there may be some things on there you don't even know how to use or what they're for, and spice blends are a great way to use those things up. But these are my top 6, and my number one is going to be garlic powder, right there. Can't live without that. Garlic powder is something I reach for every single day, and this is for savory applications, of course, but I use garlic in almost everything. I use garlic and onion powder in almost every seasoning and spice blend that I make. And there's a reason for that, because these 2 spices lend so much flavor to so many recipes that I really feel that they are essential, and they are as essential as salt and pepper in cooking. And I think that every kitchen should have these 2 items. The others include parsley. Now, I know maybe dried parsley may not seem like an essential thing, but you know what? Parsley has its own unique flavor. It adds a verdant green tone to just about everything you sprinkle it on. And not only that, it's a beautiful garnish. It's pretty. I like to use this along with paprika. And this is Hungarian paprika, which is the kind of paprika I grew up using. And it's really the only kind of paprika, aside from smoked paprika, that I use. I use smoked paprika from time to time, but I definitely don't use it as often as I use this Hungarian paprika. This is my favorite brand, which is the Szeged. Now, Szeged is a brand of spices, but Szeged is also the historic capital of the country Hungary, and my grandparents were from Hungary, and this is what I grew up seeing my grandmother use, and my mom always used it, and it was just part of life. This is what you had. So when I make deviled eggs, I always put paprika and dried parsley on top, and it makes it beautiful. Both of these things may not have a ton of flavor. Sweet paprika, it lends a little bit of flavor, but mostly it lends color. And parsley is kind of the same way. It has a very mild flavor, but it has a flavor that's uniquely its own, and those are things that I find to be important. So paprika and parsley, onion powder, garlic powder, and then my 2 spice blends, poultry seasoning and Italian seasoning. These things pack a lot of punch for your money. Poultry seasoning can be used for chicken, it can be used for fish, it can be used for pork, and it can be used for just about anything you want to sprinkle it on, but it's got a lot of sage, thyme, parsley, rosemary. Sometimes there's a little bit of lavender in there. It also has onion powder and garlic powder. Sometimes there's cinnamon, clove, warm spices, allspice, things like that. It just has a wonderful flavor, and it can be used in a lot of applications. If poultry seasoning was the only thing that you could afford to buy, then that would be the one thing that I would recommend you get aside from salt and pepper, because it's going to go a long way for you in your kitchen. My other one is Italian seasoning. This goes without saying. You're going to find all of your very herbaceous notes in here. Oregano, rosemary, basil, thyme, sage, marjoram in some cases. Sometimes there's even red pepper flakes in there, some cayenne pepper. It just depends on the blend. Now I do make my own, and it does have onion powder and garlic powder in it along with parsley, so this may be redundant, but when you want to reach for a quick seasoning just to throw maybe in your scrambled eggs, or to season up a sauce, or to throw in your jarred pasta sauce to give it a little boost of flavor, that is going to go a long way for you as well. Like I said, you can get all 5 or 6 of these for under $20. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Once you get more established and find out what you like better, maybe you like to eat curry, curry dishes. Maybe you like different types of cuisine, in which case you're probably going to use a lot of different spices that maybe not everybody else will. All of these seasonings in front of you are going to do well for seasoning meat, sauces, soups, casseroles, just about anything you can think of. You can also boost the poultry seasoning and the Italian seasoning by adding garlic powder and onion powder to them, or paprika. You can make your own blends. Like, for instance, Paula Deen in her restaurant, she uses what they call house seasoning, which is nothing more than salt, pepper, and garlic powder mixed together. I would go so far as to add onion powder to that mix, because I think it would be a wonderful way to simply season fresh meats, vegetables, what have you. You don't have to go overboard, especially if you're starting out, and you don't have to go crazy trying to find expensive things to buy to fill your spice rack.
You start small and expand.
Absolutely. You start with a little and you work out from there. I have more spices than I will probably ever use on my own, but I always share with family and friends. People call me up and go, "Hey Noreen, I know you got these things. Do you have this? Because I need some for a recipe, but I don't feel like spending $12 or $15 for a little jar in the grocery store." Folks, I'm not kidding. Grocery store spices are so expensive. Oh, yeah. Buy them online. Buy them in bulk if you can. You can get big containers of onion powder, garlic powder, parsley, Italian seasoning, poultry seasoning, and paprika, all at Sam's Club, Costco, even at Walmart you can get them, and they're very inexpensive. If you want to invest a little more, if you think you're going to use them on a regular basis, keep them in a cool, dry place, in a dark pantry, and they will last you a good long time. But don't buy more than you think you're going to use in about 6 months' time. That's it. That's my top 6 spices to get your spice rack rolling. My top 6 essentials that I cannot live without in my spice rack, and I probably use in my kitchen, if not every day, at least every week for sure. So, I hope this answers some of your questions. I will be following up with other seasoning and spice videos in the future. I'm going to be doing a baking spice video, and I'm also going to be revamping my spice rack using some of these bottles that I got, as well as these labels that I created for myself. Now, I'll leave a link to the bottles where you can get them, and then I'll also leave a link to the Sejed Paprika where you can get this, because I buy this from Columbia Spice Company, which is a little small family-owned website. They have the entire line of Sejed spices. This video is not sponsored. I'm just letting you know that's where I buy it from. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this video. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear what your favorite spices are to have on your spice rack. What are some of the things you can't live without? If you're new to my kitchen, welcome. I'm so glad that you stopped by. It's always a pleasure to welcome new people and new friends. Please hit that subscribe button before you leave. And if you are a tried and true member of the Noreen's Kitchen family, don't forget to go down and hit the bell notification button, because we don't want any of you to miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. I hope you enjoyed my top 6 cannot live without spices on my spice rack. I hope that this helped you and answered some of your questions. And until next time, I'll see ya.